Hi, I'm Dr. Dean Mitchell. I'm a board-certified allergist and immunologist, and I wanted to talk to you today. What is the better choice, an allergy injection or allergy drops? I think it's an important thing that patients should know the options that are out there to treat their underlying allergies. Allergy shots have been around for over 100 years. It actually started in England and then came over to the United States, where it was first done by Dr. Robert Cook at the Allergy Center in New York City. That's actually where I trained. Protocol is very interesting. Each week, patients would get typically several injections in the arm at low doses, and then were built up over a period of weeks and months. Typically, it would take about 6 months to get to a high dose level where they could then just go once a month. And then they reached the maintenance dose, which they stayed at for several years, 3 or 4 or 5 years, to get protection. The good news is that this therapy over time proved to be effective. Many doctors thought it was voodoo and didn't understand how it worked, but it clearly showed that it was effective. Interestingly though, the fact that the patients come once a week for a shot actually originates in England, where they were doing allergy shots. And when I would ask doctors, why are the shots only given once a week, none of them seemed to have the answer. And we found out because the clinic in England that actually started doing allergy shots was only open once a week, so that's the only time patients could come. Because the best way to desensitize somebody actually is to do it every day. So let's look at allergy drops and how they compare to this. Allergy drops started about 30 years ago in Europe, mainly in Italy and France at top institutions. It came to the United States probably in the 1970s, early 80s, when Dr. David Morris in the Midwest in Wisconsin started doing it on his patients. Dr. Morris had a large following of patients, but it was actually very quiet because it was very controversial at the time to do. I was fortunate to read a scientific publication that Dr. Morris wrote about using the sublingual drops in 1998, and I went to train with him in Wisconsin, and when I came back to New York, I started doing only the sublingual drops because I thought they had so many advantages. Let's look at the pros to allergy drops. Now, allergy drops, the nice thing about it is you can see it's not an injection, so there's no pain involved. And obviously all the children love this. It's the first thing they ask me. They go, am I getting a shot today? And I say, no, we're doing drops. Also, the adults seem to like it too because, again, it's not painful, and it ties into something else where it's so convenient because they don't have to come to the office every week or every day to get a treatment. This is done at home. Now, the other really important thing that was very important to me was that the allergy drops, the way we do our protocol, is very safe. So there's minimal risk of an allergic reaction. In fact, over 50 million doses have been given worldwide without a severe allergic reaction, which is not true, unfortunately, with the shots. And the last thing, which I'm sure you want to know, is, are the drops as effective as the shots? Because if the shots are better, maybe I should do that. Well, again, all of the studies seem to point that the drops are as effective and have been shown really definitively over the last 10 to 20 years how they can give long-term protection. What are the cons of these therapies? Well, unfortunately, most of all, the con to doing allergy immunotherapy is with the shots, because the allergy shots, unfortunately, when you're giving them to patients, they can cause large local reactions, which are very uncomfortable, and people have sore arms for a few days. Even more dangerous, these patients can actually get an anaphylactic reaction, where that means where they go into allergic shock. And that's why allergy patients getting shots need to wait 30 minutes in a doctor's office so they can observe them. That's when most of the bad reactions occur. Now, in my book, The Allergy and Asthma Solution, which I published back in 2006, I talk all about these things and about my own journey and how I discovered with Dr. Morris doing these sublingual allergy drops and how it transformed my practice and how I was hoping it would transform practice in the country. So I guess in concluding, you would say, why would anyone not choose allergy drops over allergy shots? And I'm not sure I really have the answer. I mean, the unfortunately is that the insurance companies are still covering mainly the shots, although if you really add up going every week for your shots and paying your co-pays, whether or not paying for the drops is still maybe cost effective and of course in saving time. Currently, I'm working with a company called MRS, where I'm trying to teach doctors all over the country how to do our protocol in doing the drops, so that I'm hoping that children and adults around the country that suffer from allergies can overcome their allergies and have permanent protection.